So in liquid loans, you have Pulse, and you want to mint stable coins against your Pulse. And there's reasons why you would want to do this too. Okay. I kind of explained to the user base while your internet went down, like how that works. But I didn't really explain why people would want to do that.
Okay.
We can kind of touch on taxes. I'm not a tax advisor, but we can kind of go through a couple scenarios of coin count, future appreciating value. We can touch on the tax piece. Okay. So historically, what you hear is take profits, get your initial out. You want to have a free position. Like these are terms that you hear all the time. Make sure you get your initial out. Oh, you're way up. You're 5x up. You better sell some. Well, the problem with that is if the thing you're holding is likely to keep appreciating for many years, like you typically see with blockchain coins, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Avalanche, Matic, all these different blockchain coins, they just over the years, they have bear and bull markets, but they just over time, they just become more and more and more valuable.
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to get rid of your best appreciating asset? So if you put yourself in the mind of like a real estate sort of guy, or some sort of mogul in other financial industries, these guys don't sell their best appreciating assets. In fact, you hear about billionaires who will always say, how do you avoid taxes? Well, you don't sell. If you don't sell, you have no capital gains. You go get a loan against it.
That's kind of what Elon did with Twitter, right? He's basically borrowing against Tesla stock. Is that, I guess, piece of it?
Right. So a loan could mean going to get a loan from your local bank against an asset that you own. It could mean taking a loan that's autonomous against your asset in crypto. Now, you will hear some buzz in the community that, the IRS in the United States hasn't issued any formal guidance on crypto loans. That's true. And many of us, including some professional tax people in the space, like Anthony the Tax Man, you can look him up on. He's in the Hex community. Gladly help educate you, for a fee. This falls very closely in line with all the other tax rules that are out there, like from receiving a loan from a bank, for example. The difference being it's just completely autonomous. Now, there's 25 or so different lending protocols on ETH. People are doing this all the time. People are doing this on KuCoin and Binance and all these other places. They're doing it on Celsius. They're doing it on crypto.com. They're doing this. This happens all the time, where you can literally take a loan out against your asset, and your asset that you don't want to sell is held as collateral until such point you pay it back, or it's liquidated because the value of it's at risk of no longer backing what you got in the form of a loan. Right. Like, this is nothing new. Now, yes, we all hope that the IRS eventually issues some sort of statement about that, but until such time, it's not an issue with anybody, because you have no sell, you have no disposition of that original asset. There's no loss. There's no, and for the naysayers who think, you should pay taxes on that loan. Just imagine if you did. What do you do when you pay your loan back? Let's say you paid taxes on the loan that you received, and you still have collateral in the chute, okay? And then you say, well, I'm going to pay my loan back. What do you think, you're going to petition your government and get your tax money back? Are you going to pay taxes a second time when you decide to sell your original asset and dispose of it? Like, would you be double taxed? Double taxation is illegal. So you just really have to consider these things. And like, this is new. Listen, crypto in general for the masses is still very new. So I would suggest people talk to their tax advisors.
Yes.
A good crypto tax advisor, and then record everything. If you have, consider this too. If you sell an asset, if you sold your Pulse coin, short-term capital gain, and you took it to PulseX and you dumped it, you're likely to face like a 36% capital gains tax right off the bat. Gone, 36%, throw it in the garbage. You're going to have to set that aside and give it to your government. Now, alternatively, if you had a method where you could keep 36%, 36% is substantial. Why would you not decide to take the route where you get to keep that? Now, it gets much wilder than that. There's way more benefit to keeping your original coin count if the value of your collateral is likely to go up in value, like a brand new blockchain typically does. This may sound like a little bit of moon math, a little bit, but it's fun and it really hammers it home for people.
Yeah.
If you started with 100 coins and I started with 100 coins of any asset, and let's say those 100 coins are worth 20 grand. Okay. We're not even going to talk about loans yet. We're not even going to talk about loans and taxes or anything. I'm going to hold and you're going to sell. Well, I'm going to hold through all the volatility, up and down. Okay. I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at my asset a long time from now. You are going to sell every time that it feels like the value of your thing doubled. Okay. So when your 20,000 worth of Pulse coin goes up to $40,000 for the Pulse coin, you're going to do what everyone's always told you to do. You're going to sell half your bag and you're going to get your initial out.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what you're left with is not 100 coins. Now you only have 50 coins. And you only have your original 20,000 now in a stable coin somewhere probably, but you have 20,000 still in the chute speculating, on the price action. Okay. And maybe the price goes down, it goes down way down. There's a huge dip and that 20 grand is worth 5 grand, but it goes back up. But now it doubles again. So when it goes up to 40 grand again, you're going to sell half your bag again. And you're going to just keep doing that because it just feels like
conventional wisdom.
You are going to be in profits. You've always been told to sell when you're in profit. Sell the top. Don't sell the bottom. We even hear this from Richard Heart. Oh, the plebs are the ones that sell the bottom, not the top. But maybe you do it right and you end up selling the very, very tippy top 10 times through 10 doublings. Mind you, I think Hex did like 13 doublings or something. Okay. Yeah. So maybe you managed to do it exactly right. Best case scenario, you sell the very tip top. Every time it doubles, after 10 doublings, the only amount that you would have is $220,000. That's it. Because you would have sold half your bag. You'd still only have 20 grand left. Wait for it. Price volatility. Price doubles again. You sold half your bag. You shaved off another 20 grand. Like best case scenario, you would only have $220,000. Now, maybe you could have sold less. Maybe you sold only a quarter of your bag or 10% of your bag or whatever. Maybe it would have been a little better. But in this half your bag scenario on a double, you would have 220 grand. Now look at me, who started with 20 grand. And I never sold a single coin through 10 doublings. So let's just pull out the calculator here.
2 mil?
20, what is it? 20 million.
20 million.
$480,000, I think it is. Okay? 20 grand turned into 40. So times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2. I'm going to do that 5 more times. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. $20,480,000 is what I have in Pulse coins. Simply because I held and I didn't sell. Now, Richard talks about this all the time in the market. You know how hard it is to have that much money and not sell? It's hard. It's impossible. Like once you hit your first million out of 20 grand, like you've got, like psychologically, you just feel like you have to sell something. So how do you have the strength to keep holding so that your original coin count never leaves your possession? This is where liquid loans comes in handy. Because instead of selling and reducing your coin count and being that guy who ended up selling and only has 200 grand, you could be that guy who started with 20 grand and went through 10 doublings and has over 20 million. And when you are tempted or you have the need to draw some money out against your appreciating asset, you simply mint some stable coins against it. Maybe you got, I've got $1 million worth of Pulse, but it would sure be nice to get a $20,000 loan. Okay, so you simply mint 20 grand. And the risk in that is very low. For the value of $1 million worth of Pulse coin to go all the way down to 20 grand, we'd have to see a Luna type situation. I think we can all hope, and we don't believe that that's going to happen to Pulse, right? So as long as you're risk adverse and you safely set your own collateral ratios in a healthy factor, you can capture all that appreciating value in your Pulse coin for the next several decades or however long the chain lives. You can keep all that appreciating value and still draw some value out against it simply by minting stable coins in the stablecoin factory.